In this report, we cover The 5 Levels of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. Now, Maxwell equates leadership with this escalating level of influence that we have over others. And he basically says that our ability to lead grows as we begin to develop greater levels and types of influence over others, and thus our influence grows as we grow as leaders. The author identifies 5 levels or stages that we evolve through as we evolve as a leader. And in his explanation of each level, he explains what that level means. He identifies opportunities, threats, and ways to improve in that given level. So let's begin with level 1, and that is position. And he says at this level, people follow you strictly because you hold a position. It is the authority given to you by someone else, perhaps in an organization or as part of a group. Now, your opportunity at this level of leadership is that you can create yourself. You can establish your personal brand, which will ultimately affect how others see you going forward. Now, the threats here is that you have a tendency to rely on your rank too much. That is, you tell people to do things not with a way of motivating them through other sources, but strictly you expect them to obey your authority. So a threat there is pulling too much rank. Now, some ways you can improve or evolve to the next step is to really get to know your team and understand them as individuals, and to find a mentor who you can look up to and bounce questions off of, and they can impart advice onto you as to how you improve in your task and as a leader. Next, level 2 involves permission, and this is where individuals begin to respond to you because they want to. They allow you to influence them. And this is largely relationship based. That is, you have formed or developed a relationship with them, so they are receptive to whatever influence that you are trying to exert over them. Now, the opportunity here is to be friendly, to communicate with your people so that you get to know them. But one of the threats in going through this stage is that you oftentimes become too soft or too friendly with people and avoid the hard side, that is the discipline that you must impart in order to carry out your task and responsibilities efficiently. Now, how can you move from level 2 to level 3, or how can you be successful in developing at this level? The author says that you must be self-aware, you must be open to relationships with others, that you have to create a mindset that you actually openly like people. Think about it in terms of reciprocity. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So you treat people fairly based upon how you would want to be treated, and you give adequate feedback and set boundaries with individuals. And this will help you move on to the next level of leadership. And the next level of leadership is production. And that is, people follow you or respect you because of your effectiveness, your output. Now, at this stage, you have the opportunity to be a role model to others. Now, one of the threats here is because you are super efficient and effective, you have a tendency to focus on the harder, more disciplinary side, the efficiency things, and making certain people follow your instructions and directions, perhaps to a T, often to the neglect of the softer, more communicative side of leadership that's necessary here. So if you want to improve at this level, you must make certain that your actions and what you're doing is aligned with your personal goals and values, as well as the goals and values or objectives of the organization. You focus on developing team members. You start to bring them up and integrate them more into the job and give them more responsibilities. You start to learn how to prioritize your task and to tap individual members of your team to carry out key functions rather than you trying to do everything yourself or micromanaging. And you need to focus on developing into what the author calls a momentum creator, someone who creates energy and desire towards the accomplishment of team goals or objectives. Now, the next level, level 4, is people development. And this is where you get to the point where others see you as someone who is enabling others. So your opportunity here is you can trust others to take over, to take responsibility, and you sit back and monitor them more and simply help them in terms of whatever they need to be successful in their job or task. Now, when you reach this stage, you tend to be highly accomplished and start to become revered among the people you supervise. So you have to be very careful not to become self-centered in this scenario or self-focused on your own grandeur. You need to continue focusing on your people and the improvement of the organization as a whole. So how can you evolve in this role and get better? Well, first, you become better at hiring people. That is, identifying the appropriate people who are members of the team. And the individuals who are the highest performers, you start to prioritize them and putting more effort into their development, because their development is going to create a greater or more effective output than others. So you make mentorship open and accessible. You establish a process for that, and you demonstrate as much humility in the role that you hold as possible. And from there, you move on to level 5. And this is the pinnacle of leadership that most people never achieve. And that is legacy level or reputational level leadership. That is, people revere you, they've heard of you, and your legacy lasts on beyond you for what you've accomplished and how people saw you. So it's more the idea of you more than you. And so the opportunity here is that you can use this level of influence to help others move up, very similar to the people development level. But there is a threat there as well, the same way that you have to focus on humility. Again, so a level 5 leader is going to continue to build that environment where other leaders can grow and flourish in the organization. So you're focused on creating organizational leaders who ultimately drive the mission of the organization. You tend to have an inner circle of people who you bounce ideas back and forth with, that you can collectively integrate and share this knowledge with others. And your primary focus, again, is not on yourself, but having an overall positive impact in the world. And this is The 5 Levels of Leadership by John C. Maxwell.